Stennis, and welcome to Inside Santa Barbara on City TV Channel 18, the show that takes you inside the city's most important projects, issues, and events. Today we are coming to you from Alice Keck Park Memorial Gardens. This 4.5-acre botanic garden is the center of town between Santa Barbara and Garden Streets at Mitchell-Turena. This downtown park is often called the crown jewel of city parks. We'll tell you more about Alice Keck Park Memorial Gardens in just a few minutes, but first, the Salvation Army prides itself in being committed to doing the most good. In our top story, we visit the local Salvation Army store and explain why it's been difficult lately to do the most good. Milpas and Ortega Streets in Santa Barbara. It is home to the Salvation Army, but when the store closes and the sun goes down, this area attracts some unwanted visitors. This surveillance video is evidence of illegal dumping and dashing. Take a closer look. That's a refrigerator being dumped on the sidewalk right outside the store. This woman dumped several boxes of things in the same location, and others come and rummage through items that have piled up during the night, taking what they want and leaving little more than a mess of worthless junk behind. And when the sun comes up, neighbors and passers-by are left to look at the junk until Salvation Army staff arrive and clean it up. According to store management at its peak last summer, the dumping was occurring nearly every night.
If I'm cleaning out my garage and I've got trash at home, I'm not going to take it to the Salvation Army after hours. I'm going to take it to the dump. I'm going to call a hauling company, to come and haul my trash out of here for, pay them whatever I need to pay them to get it hauled. I'm not going to take it to the Salvation Army. And that's what's happening. So yeah, it upsets me to see that.
It's frustrating.
Yeah, it's very frustrating.
Particularly frustrating because the items being dumped are not of any value.
See, good example, a high chair. See, you got a high chair, but where's the tray, But that's the stuff we're getting. Yeah, it looks good, it looks like a good donation, but really it's not, because it's not even complete. We couldn't sell it in our store without a tray.
The surveillance cameras aim toward the side of the store here on Ortega Street. This is the spot where people drive up and dump their unwanted items. But thanks to the city's Public Works Department, there is a newly installed sign. The Salvation Army hopes that it will help point would-be violators in the right direction. The right direction of a nearby facility where trash should go.
The site that's identified on the new sign, and there is a map with directions, is just up Milpas Street across 101. So it's maybe a 5-minute drive from here with Marburg. So they will accept any trash that can be recycled. So we're not asking people to drive across the city or to go to a big effort. They can drop off their trash, and then it doesn't cost us.
Besides installing a security camera and posting a warning sign, the store has hired extra staff to help clean up the mess before the store opens. But the extra costs don't stop there.
No, we don't have a dumpster on site. We don't have a dumpster on site. So what happens is our delivery truck that does our delivery has to come and pick it up, and then we transport it and go take it to the dump. We have to dump it.
We estimate that in any year we would spend thousands of dollars. Not only the dumping fee, but we also have to pay a driver and the expense of the truck for fuel. And it's taking a truck away from going to a home to pick up a usable donation. So really it's difficult to calculate the entire cost, but it's going to be thousands of dollars that we really don't have.
According to their most recent annual report, more than 80 cents of each dollar spent by the Salvation Army is used to fund direct services for people. The money made from this store is used to fund the Adult Rehabilitation Center in Carpinteria, which focuses on treatment for drug and alcohol-addicted men. The Salvation Army says the money being spent on the problems of illegal dumping directly affects their mission.
That money can help another man in our program. So yeah, it's very, very frustrating.
The Salvation Army, who prides itself in doing the most good, hopes that community members will do the same.
We try to do the most good with every donation that comes to us. That can be furniture, clothing, could be a donated vehicle. People are helping us to do the most good with their donation. When we receive trash or broken furniture, it takes our resources and our time. So we're not able to do the most good with what we're given because it really isn't a donation. It's trash. And so really what we're asking the community to do is to help us fulfill our mission. So if people will just bring us usable donations, that will help us, it will help our neighbors, and we'll be able to use the resources that are given to us to help more people.
If you have some unwanted items around your house, Marburg or BFI will come to your house and haul it away once a year for free. For all the details, go to our website, citytv18.com. Well, here at Alice Keck Park Memorial Gardens, visually impaired visitors can enjoy the sensory garden, complete with audio posts and interpretive braille signs. There are other areas in the city that are accessible for the visually impaired, like the MTD bus station and the corner of Mission and Delavina Streets. In our next story, we talk to people who have mobility, vision, and hearing issues about what the city is doing to make Santa Barbara accessible for everyone.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
This countdown at the intersection of Mission and Delavina Streets is a cue for people with vision impairments. Here on Milpas and Cannon Perdido, a wider curb accommodates people who use wheelchairs. 17 years ago, the Americans with Disabilities Act was passed by Congress. Under the ADA, all government agencies were required to make their programs accessible to everyone. This means making necessary changes to facilities with physical barriers. The city is now revisiting the ADA by updating its transition plan. The city's original ADA transition plan was completed in the 1990s.
And a lot has changed since then. A key element of the act was that all new construction was to meet these standards of accommodations, and we continue to move forward and to construct new access ramps and remove barriers throughout the city.
To identify such physical barriers, the city held 2 public outreach meetings. Jim Marston was among the attendees.
I lost my vision in '85, so I went back to get a PhD working in different technologies to help blind people navigate.
Marston would like to see improvements to barriers for people with visual impairments throughout the city.
It's very important for blind folks who can't drive to be able to find bus stops and identify which bus stops there, and right now there is no way to know that.
Bonnie Elliott is chair of the Accessibility Advisory Committee to staff. She suggests improvements for people who use wheelchairs.
The restrooms at the public library, central library, are not wheelchair accessible. I can barely use them. The doors are too heavy. Things are too high. It's just not accessible.
Accommodating all disabilities has its challenges.
There's a wide spectrum of people with disabilities that if you try to accommodate one type of disability, it makes it more difficult for someone with another disability.
In 1990, the ADA required curbs to be cut so that wheelchairs could go over the curb on a nice slope and cross the street. What people forgot was that curbs are what blind people use to line up and know there's a street. So now a blind person doesn't feel the difference. He doesn't have that good old 6-inch curb to go, okay, now I have to be careful. So it helped the wheelchair users, but until the detectable warnings came along, it was detrimental to the blind users.
The city plans on prioritizing accessibility projects in 2 ways. The first is through public outreach meetings. The second through a private accessibility consultant, Gilda Puente Peters. The city is already making headway with improvements to the main library restrooms in the budget for the next fiscal year. Funding for these types of projects comes from different places.
The first is whenever we do a remodel or a change to a facility, part of the budget for that remodel goes toward making accessibility improvements in that area. And then the second is we do have a capital fund program where the City Council prioritizes and puts money for different capital projects within the city on a yearly basis. And so as part of this transition plan, we're going to look at that capital funding every year to see what sort of projects we can do on a citywide basis. And then departments that have their own budgets and can make improvements along the way from within their own budgets.
So with several funding options, the city is determined to improve accessibility. As we learned from members of the disabled community, not having access can be a difficult experience.
Well, it can be tearful for some people. I've had people break down and cry and think no one cares about me. And the old story in disability is this is the only club, minority club, you can join at any moment of your life. And so it's not us against them. This is you when you're older, right? This is you when you've had an accident. So it's only them until it happens to you.
I feel like an afterthought or no thought. That whole population, that whole part of the community, it's just like, oh, no thought was put into this.
Which brings us back to the ADA and exactly why the city has a transition plan.
Our city council is really committed to the city being a model for accessibility within the state. And in order to do that, we wanted to go back and look at these documents that we established in the 1990s and really make sure that they're still good documents for us to be working with and that they really provide us a clear path toward full accessibility in city programs and services.
Wait to cross Mission at De La Vina.
For more information on the Americans with Disabilities Act, go to our website, citytv18.com. Well, Alice Keck Park Memorial Gardens is a great place to have a picnic, read a book, or just relax. But for those of you who are busy with your everyday lives, there is little time to relax. You've got plenty to do with a limited time to run those important errands. Well, with city offices starting new work schedules in July, Channel 18's Dominique Blocker tells us how the city's latest effort to be more sustainable might also make those errands easier to fit in.
If you commute to and from work on congested freeways and city streets, try to pay your water bill during your lunch hour, or call to find out city information after your workday is done, you'll be excited to hear about the City of Santa Barbara's new 980 work schedule. Starting on July 6th, most city offices will begin working a new compressed 980 schedule. These offices will be open for an additional hour Monday through Thursday and will be closed every other Friday. In the end, it works out to be the same 80 hours every 2 weeks, but with the new 980 schedule, there are many added benefits.
For some time, the City Council has been committed to employee work trip reduction. That is, trying to reduce the impact that our employee commutes have on congestion on the streets and also on air quality.
54% of city employees already work compressed schedules. Departments such as police, fire, and public works have been working alternate schedules for decades in order to accommodate specific work needs. By lowering the amount of trips taken to and from work, the city is accomplishing one of its top goals, the reduction of greenhouse gas emissions. The city is hoping to have 75% of its full-time employees working a compressed schedule. The alternate closed Fridays will translate to over 22,000 fewer trips each year by city employees. The 980 schedule will conserve energy, with some offices closed an extra 26 days per year. And they are also hoping for greater employee recruitment, productivity, and retention.
Generally, the response from our employees has been overwhelmingly positive. We've had a couple of people who are a little worried about how it's going to work with their commutes and their child care issues, but other agencies that we talked to said that generally the employees were able to adjust their schedules and just really love the 980 schedule now.
And with employees heading to work at non-peak hours, there will be fewer cars on the roads and freeways during typically crowded commute times.
It will help reduce wear and tear in my car, the amount of gasoline, so it'll save me money. I'm just really looking forward to it.
One key advantage of the new 980 schedule is increased customer service hours at city offices, such as community development and city hall.
If you can extend your hours past when the general public's working, right? So past 5 o'clock, that frees up people to come to your offices or your retail store when they finish work. It's great for customer service.
The city has been looking at alternative scheduling options for some time. They found other cities throughout California that have adopted the 980 schedule with great results.
As soon as residents and employees got used to the new 980 schedule, everyone really likes it and it's working really well for them.
Although there is concern that initially the public may show up to city offices on a closed Friday, the city is undertaking a number of measures to inform the public about the change. For a list of office hours and a calendar of closed Fridays, visit santabarbaraca.gov. Well, up next, City TV's Brooke Hawkins shows us some local efforts that aim to make it easier than ever to realize the power of the pedal.
From high gas prices to health benefits to global warming, there is no shortage of reasons to ride a bike. Yet many of us remain hesitant to strap on a helmet and go for it. Whether your excuse for not riding is inconvenience, unfamiliarity with the rules of the road, or just plain laziness, the city and local bike groups have a solution just for you. If security or convenience are at the top of your list, the bike station at the Granada Garage provides plenty of both. Members have access to the facility 24/7.
You can have a safe place to put your bike. There's showers there. People are there to maintain your bike, to help you if you need any maintenance needs. And just a great central location to keep your bike so you don't have to park your car and pay a lot of money in gas.
The Granada Garage is just one of the ways the city is making Santa Barbara more bike-friendly. Thanks in part to funding by Measure D, the city is always looking for ways to foster bicycling.
They really have in their mission to reduce traffic and reduce parking demand downtown. And so they've built, for instance, 43 miles of bike lanes and bike paths, and that really goes a long way to encourage bicycling.
Considering every gallon of gasoline burned puts 20 pounds of CO2 into the atmosphere, choosing a bike over a car is a great way to help fight global warming. And while bicycling can save the environment, with fuel prices soaring, using a bike as an alternative form of transportation could save you thousands a year.
From the public side of things, and say tax dollars being invested, look at the average cost of an auto parking space. You're talking about anywhere from $15,000 to $25,000 per space. What does it cost for a bike rack? Maybe a couple $100s.
Here at City Hall, employees have access to bikes to go on errands, even personal ones. The idea is to cut back on short trips by car and show employees how convenient biking can be. Since 1994, the Bicycle Coalition has promoted activities that encourage people to ride more. For the last 4 years, they have sponsored Bike Week to reward those who regularly bicycle and encourage first-timers to give it a chance.
Go out and practice around your block a couple times, and then just try it on a weekend and see how long it takes. You know, see how difficult it is to put your things in a backpack, or practice how much weight you can carry, things like that, and just try it. You'll like it.
It's just a lot of fun, and people, they're laughing on their way to work instead of screaming and yelling, frustrated, stuck in traffic. That's the biggest thing that I notice, just the happiness.
And to appeal to your competitive side, the Team Bike Challenge pits teams from all over the county against each other to see who can make the biggest change in their bicycling habits. Local businesses, like the law firm of Hatch & Parent, take the challenge seriously and try to encourage greater bicycle use year-round.
We have a bike locker. It fits a good amount of bikes, and so it's really convenient. It's right next to our work. Basically, we can just keep our bikes in there all day.
Willie Weir has cycled over 50,000 miles throughout the world. He says that some of the greatest benefits to getting people out of cars are the intangible ones.
Most people are so used to getting in their car, in their garage, getting on the freeway and going someplace, that there's this huge area around where they live that they have no idea the parks that are available, the little stores, the amazing people that are right within the area that they live, because they've gotten such the habit to go someplace with a big parking lot where they're going to shop or whatever. And so really a bicycle is just such a great way to rediscover and to find out how amazing the places are that we do live.
The Team Bike Challenge is a friendly competition that will run for the entire month of June, with 5 member teams making as many trips as possible by bike instead of car. For more details about the Team Bike Challenge, visit trafficsolutions.info. Well, when you're riding your bike through town, stop by Alice Keck Park Memorial Gardens. This area was supposed to be the site of the El Mirasol Hotel, 2 towers 9 stories high. But that plan was ultimately defeated in the summer of 1969. In 1975, the late Alice Keck Park bought the site and gave it to the city as a park. It was dedicated in 1980. Well, coming up next, we take you to another competition, this time not between bicyclists, but some very creative and talented high school students.
As the Santa Barbara County's water agency is making great strides to conserve water resources, local high school students have also jumped on board to spread water conservation awareness through their abilities in a digital age.
With excessive water usage, our county is in danger of becoming a desolate wasteland.
Students are capable of so many great things, and a lot of times we don't see that enough.
This year, Santa Barbara County held its 8th annual high school video contest on water awareness, giving students the chance to make a splash in their community.
It increases both their awareness of water conservation by being involved in the project, but then we can use what they produce on the local television stations, and so their message is then spread throughout the community.
We just sort of want to make people more aware of the problems and how to conserve water, and sort of because it is a resource that is running out, and we just want to conserve it as long as we can.
Prizes were awarded to the high school's video departments ranging from $200 to $1,000.
We make the checks out to the schools, and the idea is that the money we give them will help the video department to buy supplies or new equipment so they can further their goals within the video department.
San Marcos, Carpinteria, and Dos Pueblos high schools received honorable mentions, while Cade School won 3rd place with 1 drop at a time. Santa Ynez High School went home with 2nd place with a valuable and pleasing commodity, while Cabrillo High School took 1st place with the drop father.
Since you like water so much, Vinny, I'm gonna let you swim with the fishes.
My heart was pounding even before they announced the name. I was so nervous.
I think since it's allowing kids to make videos, it's brings out a creative side to saving water.
We, year after year, run campaigns, and we have a lot of ideas about conservation, but the high school kids, when they come to it with a completely fresh look, they come out with great ideas.
I think it's really good for the community at large to see the great kinds of things that students, teenage students, are capable of doing. So it's exciting.
When it's raining, you must turn on all irrigation.
The winning videos will be aired as public service announcements here on City TV Channel 18 and other broadcast channels throughout the year. For more information, go to sbwater.org. Well, Alice Keck Park's intent for this site was to develop a botanic park of interest to horticulturists as well as garden enthusiasts. And just a few blocks away, another site was dedicated for one purpose, a popular sport that also happens to be a lot of fun. Christy Zwicky takes us lawn bowling.
Greeting, lawn bowlers. Over 300 Santa Barbara residents have fallen in love with a sport that doesn't require any equipment other than a ball. While technically it's called a bowl, cut on the bias so that it curves either to the left or the right depending on how you hold it. This comes in handy when the goal is to get close to the target, called a jack. It's all part of the addictive game of lawn bowling.
I have a friend who was a lawn bowler, and I have coffee with him every morning. And he kept encouraging me to come down and try lawn bowling. So one morning after coffee, I agreed just to please him. And I was bitten by the bug.
I've lived in Santa Barbara all my life, and I'd walk by here. I lived over a couple blocks away, and I watched people, and they looked like they were having fun. So I called them up once I retired, and they seemed like just a great bunch of people. It looked like a fun thing, so I thought I'd give it a try, and I've never regretted it.
Bowls, bocce, boules, bowling on the green, or lawn bowling all mean pretty much the same thing. A surprisingly challenging sport that has been around for quite some time.
Games like this are probably as old as caveman, Rolling Stones, because every country seems to have some sort of lagging competition.
King Henry VIII had a bowling green at Hampton Court, and Queen Elizabeth
First Queen Elizabeth bowled.
There's even a story of Sir Francis Drake and his sea captains playing a riveting game of lawn bowling in 1588.
He was in charge of the naval forces to sink the Armada or to save England. But they told him when he was right in the middle of a lawn bowling game, and he said, well, if you just wait till I finish my game, I'll go out and sink the Spanish Armada for you. And we don't know if that's true or not, but it could have been.
Lawn bowling came to Santa Barbara in 1937 when a group of local Scotsmen decided to transform the post-earthquake rubble of Santa Barbara High School into a bowling green, which later became part of Spencer Adams Park. In 1965, a second lawn bowling club was formed at Mackenzie Park. Today, the two clubs compete against each other and also with other teams throughout the region, state, and the world.
When you have tournaments, you dress white, and it's kind of fun when you get 60, 70, 80, or 100 people down here all in white. It's quite a scene.
Any person, regardless of age and ability, is welcome to join in the game. A blind draw determines who plays with whom and also assigns each individual their team position.
And the nicest thing about lawn bowls is you don't have to have a partner. You can come by yourself, alone, but you're always assured to get in a game. You don't have to be wonderful to play with the rest of the game.
Here we go.
And it's a game that appeals to all ages. We have younger bowlers throughout the state that just run rings around the rest of us. And we have older bowlers. We have a bowler here in this club who's 95 years old. He's never lost the touch, and he beats all of us. There's a 92-year-old woman that beats me all the time. So it's not a matter of age, it's a matter of concentration, eye-hand coordination.
It's a game you can play as long as you can walk. I think some people are living longer because they're lawn bowling. They're bending and stretching, they're getting out and getting exercise, and I think without lawn bowling, I don't think they would be as spry.
Oh, that was probably too much force. I overshot the last one, so I'm going to try it again. Free lessons are available all year long, which you can take until you're ready to roll with the rest of the members. Instructor Pearl Mulholland gave me my first class in the art of lawn bowling. Here at the Santa Barbara Lawn Bowls Club, anyone can be a bowler, including me. This is my 4th time rolling. I'm hoping that practice makes perfect, but it's a lot harder than it looks. Okay.
Good.
Yes.
Very
go,
good.
go, go, go. I'm hoping it gets close to the jack. Not too bad.
Not bad at all.
Not too bad. To celebrate the 70th anniversary of lawn bowling in Santa Barbara, the club will be rolling out a red carpet for the celebration on August 11th.
We'll be putting on some exhibitions, some games for people. We plan to have a real good time.
No one can deny that this sport is a whole lot of fun, but the best part may be the bonding that goes along with the bowling.
And that's what's wonderful about it. It is definitely teamwork.
It requires some personal interaction. It's a group of people who love to be together and enjoy what they're doing. And when you play a game, sure, it's wonderful to win, but the important thing is playing the game and enjoying the sport.
For more information on lawn bowling and for free lessons, visit our website, citytv18.com. Well, that does it for this month's episode of Inside Santa Barbara. If you have any questions or comments about the show, give us a call at City Hall at 564-5311 or catch us on our website at citytv18.com. I'm your host, Rachel Senes, and remember to get involved inside Santa Barbara.